Xbox Game Pass is a threat to PlayStation. Now, this is not some sort of speculation. This isn't some conjecture. This is a fact. Microsoft has managed to create a business model where so many tens of millions of gamers are paying them money even when they're not coming out with big new games. Whereas PlayStation, as much as I love the PS5 and the PS4, let's face facts. Their business model is still make a big game, release a big game, wait until the next big game is done. Well, it seems like Sony, according to a lot of leaks, is about to come out with their own version of Game Pass because honestly, they want some of that money. They want people to pay every single month, even during the next development of the next major game. Now, I want to look at the leaks, and specifically, I've gotten what seems to be a slide from some sort of PlayStation presentation that seems to show the price points of this new Project Spartacus. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and it's a beautiful Sunday morning. Please, if you could, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, we're going to start things off with this big article written by Jason Schreier and this gentleman whose name I always mispronounce, Mochizuki. Now, basically, Sony is about to unveil their new PlayStation subscription service as soon as next week, which means literally in the next couple days we could get a chance to see this. The service has been in development under the codename Spartacus, and it's Sony's answer to Xbox Game Pass because Microsoft has realized we've got 25 million paying subscribers, and Sony wants to debut a splashy lineup of hit games from recent years to basically try and get a piece of that pie. Now, there's a lot of details in here that aren't super great, but here's the biggest part about it that definitely grabs my eye. Sony's new service will combine two of its current offerings, PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, and it makes them together with a multi-tiered service with a catalog of modern and retro games. Basically, it sounds like, according to these leaks, that you're going to be able to pay a price to get a lot of older PlayStation games from PlayStation 4 or, PlayStation 5 stuff from maybe even a few years ago, and then they combine that together with, if you pay even more than that, you get retro games, things like Sly Cooper, things like maybe Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill. Like, it's going to be a mix of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. Some of the leaks have said PlayStation Vita or PSP, PlayStation Portable, could all be part of this service on the higher tiers. Now, this sounds really interesting, but what really kind of grabs my eye is just this disadvantage to it. The big difference that makes this not quite the same as Game Pass is this. Sony will likely be at a disadvantage because their service is not going to be releasing its biggest titles day and date to the time they come out. Basically, even if you like God of War Ragnarok, you're going to have to buy it. That is not going to be on the service until, years and years down the line. Now, all in all, I'm excited about this because it feels different and it feels separate, but I'm curious how people are going to adapt to it. My biggest thing is that even though I do think PlayStation Now has gotten a lot better, even though I am a big fan of PlayStation games in general, this subscription service feels like something that's not quite as mainstream because part of the reason that Xbox Game Pass works so well is because it's just so incredibly cheap. You pay like, $10 a month, $12. I'll be honest, Game Pass is so cheap, I don't even know the price. And by paying this fee, you get every Xbox game, you get retro Xbox games, you constantly be able to play stuff on your PC or your console. Like, what they're trying to do with Project Spartacus feels different. Now, I'm excited for it, but in a different way. Now, what I want to show you here is a tweet by Jeff Grubb, because he's basically sort of been talking about this here and there. And essentially, he's saying they've been running a lot of tests for Project Spartacus to make sure it runs well, to make sure people like it and stuff like that. And he's wondering if they've made any changes to the tiers pricing. Now, this seems to be the major talking point I've seen a lot of people who know what Spartacus is sort of saying is going to be the major point of contention. So I'm going to show you something that I don't know if this is real, but there is this leaked slide going around. Let's assume it's fake, but let's sort of go off the idea of if this is real, it explains what the different tiers are going to be. Subscribe to PlayStation Plus Neo. PlayStation Now will merge with PlayStation Plus on April 7th. Choose one next 3 months recurring payment plan. So basically, the lowest tier, let's zoom in a bunch right here. Lowest tier is PlayStation Plus, the lowest tier is PlayStation Plus Bronze, which basically is going to be $9 every 3 months. This gives you online play and free game demos. So, all right, that's actually pretty cheap. In fact, I think that's even way cheaper right now. I think that's 1/3 the price of current PlayStation Plus. Okay, so next up we have PlayStation Plus Silver. This gives you game streaming. It gives you free game demos, and it gives you online play. So this is the standard price of actual PlayStation Plus as it currently exists. But game streaming, like, we don't know, does that mean that you'll be able to stream games to your phone or, stream games from the PlayStation Store? I don't know. That's kind of ambiguous. Now, here is the two tiers that actually I think are the most interesting to me as somebody that really loves retro gaming. Basically, PlayStation Plus Gold is online play, free game demos, game streaming, monthly free games, monthly store discounts. So this PlayStation Plus Gold is what we currently have, basically, right? I mean, currently, if you have PlayStation Gold, PlayStation Plus, you're just getting this. You're getting, whatever free game they choose to throw to us. They're basically giving you a little bit of store discounts whenever there's big, gigantic sales going on. This is the same thing, but if I recall correctly, this is more expensive. This is the current price as it exists. Like, if I recall correctly, $9.99 is already what we're paying every single month for these games. So actually making it so that it's even more expensive for the features we currently have, this seems fake in a lot of ways. It seems like at the very least, if this is an internal slide, it's not for public consumption. Not only the fact that everything's misaligned, there's a couple typos, like silver doesn't have its R, it's like smeared out. It says $29.99 here and $24.99 here. But here's the thing that is probably going to be the real highest tier of this program. All right, here we go. Check it out. Online play, free game demos, monthly store discounts. But here is the best part. Exclusive offers at the PlayStation Store. Okay, that's great. But access to select PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 titles streaming. You must pay $60 every 3 months in order to have access to PlayStation Plus Platinum. Now, this is such an interesting idea. I guess I'm very, very just fascinated by the idea that PlayStation is in such a unique position because they haven't been using their retro games to the full extent. Like, actually consider the fact that Sony, as PlayStation exists, owns fully and legally so many thousands and thousands of games that we already love. They already have all these classic games just sitting in a big library. Not just the code, but the full legal rights, the music, the gameplay. They could port all of these PlayStation 1 games, all these PlayStation 2 games that people already enjoy, and they just haven't been doing it. It's interesting to me that now PlayStation may finally be opening up that vault to pull out at least a couple games for us. I don't show this very often, but I'm going to pull back the curtain for a second. I still have a gigantic game collection of thousands and thousands of games. And basically, realize the fact that, PlayStation is still packing it in. PlayStation still has all of these amazing, great games that they just don't do anything about. PlayStation just sits it there and goes, okay, we'll do something with this later. And I don't know if they're going to. I guess now I'm glad if PlayStation Spartacus actually exists, we're finally going to see some sort of form and function with their retro games. I guess the major question, though, is going to be who's going to actually subscribe to this if it does end up being, $100 a year or something like that, $120 every single year in order to play the best of retro games and modern games. How many people will really jump on board? I guess part of the reason that Games Pass is so successful is that it is a singular price. It's just one tier. It's like, all right, do you want to be able to play Xbox games day and date? You can do that. Do you want to play retro Xbox stuff? You can do that. Do you want to play upgraded Mech Assault? Congratulations, you can do that. Part of the reason I feel like basically everybody has Game Pass if you own an Xbox is because it's managed to become Netflix. It is the thing you own. Even if you aren't touching your Xbox, you're giving Xbox money. I know dudes who keep their Xbox in their closet sometimes, but they keep subscribed to Game Pass just in case they want to browse the store, install something, and play it when they have time off on the weekends. I'm not sure that PlayStation can quite hit that same caliber if there's going to be all these different tiers of retro gaming, current gaming, PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now. Like, I'm curious if this actually works. More than anything, it is going to come down to marketing. Like, straight up, PlayStation, if you want this to be the hit that you guys seem to want, it needs to be advertised properly. Clear, concise marketing, make it a point so your trailer's flashy, show us some great retro games. Honestly, as a person who plays a lot of old school RPGs, give us those baby role-playing games. Show them to me, baby, yeah. But what do you think about this? Are you excited for Project Spartacus or whatever the heck name you think it's going to be? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a giant thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. It was fun to pull back that thing. Hopefully in editing that joke actually works.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.